2023 was a crazy year for games, but I've noticed that there's been very little buzz around my most played game of the year. Come on, why doesn't the world revolve around me? You guys heard of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, right? Yeah, that game kind of sucks, doesn't it? I agree with you. But I'm not gonna lie, what kind of guy do you think I am? I had fun with that game. It wasn't really great. I don't even know if you could really say that it was good. Uh-oh. It missed out on a lot of features that would have enhanced the game, such as items and voice acting, at least initially, and good gameplay. But despite its flaws, I had fun. At the time though, you know, it was unanimous. Smash Brothers was still the reigning champion of the platform fighter. I mean, come on. They have King K. Rool. Then again, they have Hugh Neutron. What if I told you that in 2023, SpongeBob came back for blood? He was not messing around. Guys, Nick Brawl 2? Oh, so good. Dude, this game just completely slaps the nuts off the first game. The gameplay is so much more refined. The movesets are so much more diverse. Single player has so much more to offer, and no one is playing this game. And that hurts my soul a little bit, you guys, because I have seen the light. But I almost didn't. I imagine that my initial stance on this game is not unlike many others. Let me know if you resonate with this. I said it already, but the first game was just not really all that good. So I think for a lot of people, the idea of a sequel just didn't seem all that appealing. And that's kind of how I felt as well. I wasn't really clamoring for more after the first game. So when the announcement of the game dropped, yeah, there were some new characters and it got a nice visual upgrade, but again, it was coming off the heels of this game. Then, in the coming days and weeks, this game was unfortunately leaked to hell and back. Any characters that could have been fun reveals were known far in advance, and adding to that, a bunch of characters from the first game were totally cut. I feel like character reveals are the lifeblood for marketing when it comes to crossover platform fighters, and right off the bat, this game had that stolen from it. After the whole thing leaked, the conversation around it became less about who could make the cut, and more about who didn't. And well, I was kind of in that camp too. How could they deprive me of Hugh Neutron? But more importantly, Powdered Toast Man. I will never forget you! So I sort of feel like these factors busted the kneecaps off of any potential hype this game could have had, which was, pretty unfair to be honest, but unfortunately that's what leaks can do to your marketing. The buzz around this one was nothing like what the first game had, at least from what I could tell. Then there was a leak and subsequent announcement of the Season Pass, and I mean, come on. I don't think this lineup did them any favors. Truthfully, I had very little intention of picking this one up myself. Matter of fact, the only reason I have the game is because I was given it for free. Thank you, Game Mill. I think it was Game Mill that gave it to me. This is not a sponsored video, and I have no obligation to say anything nice about it. Just let me be clear. I don't even need to make this video, technically. I just really like it. And I think you ought to play it. My 120 hours of playtime does not lie. Dude, the gameplay is just so much more refined over the first one, it's insane. If there's one thing you should take away from this video, that's it. They slowed the pace of Nick Brawl 2, so you no longer have to do lines to keep up. No more Ultra Instinct reflexes, but, it's still a fast game with a high skill ceiling. The playing field is just much more even for the average player. Each character is more technically distinct from the first game as well. So many of the characters shared the same general move pool in the first one, making a lot of playstyles feel very samey. But for this one, all of the veteran characters received complete moveset overhauls, so everyone feels so much more unique to play. Add to this the slime meter. Ooh. Fill that sucker up and you can use your own little special attack. Yep, everyone's got final smashes this time around. But wait. There's more. The slime meter can also be used to supercharge attacks. It is especially useful for your recoveries. We need to take a step back, and I need it to be known that the Angry Beavers are the best characters in the game. I mean, look. They wear shirts. I wear shirts. These guys are just so much fucking fun. I don't even know what else to say. I've spent most of my time in this game with them to become champion of the Beavers. Probably not anywhere close, but I did try. I've spent probably 90% of my time in ranked, but I wouldn't say that I'm a super competitive player. I couldn't tell you all the crazy strats and technical bullshit that comes with it. I just like mashed potatoes.
this.
I'm in that weird middle ground of being too awful to compete against high-level players, but, you know, too good to play casually against friends. Except for Wes. His SpongeBob kicks my shit in. Here he is, sticking a spatula up my ass. For as much as I like the beavers, though, I think Norbert is just a little too slow to be viable at all times. Most of the time, I'm just Daggett. Maybe that's just a skill issue on my part. I don't know. But anyway, you know, the campaign is fun. Yeah, it's a roguelike, which is really weird, but it actually works really well. You know, they did a nice job on that. I liked the game enough to play it through and, you know, get all the achievements, but I spent most of my time playing online. If you were to pick this one up entirely for the single player experience, though, you would be set. There's a lot of variety and ways to switch it up and keep it interesting. It's hella more entertaining than the world of Light and Smash, that's for sure. And the whole thing is voice acted too, with most of the original actors reprising their roles. You know, pretty cool stuff.
I'm older than the barnacles on a shipwreck.
Speaking of, I am being about as genuine as I think I can be when I tell you that, Smash has been kind of hard to go back to after experiencing this game. I don't know, it just feels so chunky and slow to play by comparison. Not nearly as responsive as I'd like for it to be, especially online. Like, I always knew Smash's online wasn't perfect, but after experiencing how snappy and responsive everything is on Nick Brawl, it's night and day. It's hard to play. I always thought doing an Ultimate Deluxe on the Switch 2 should be the path forward with, you know, new characters and content, but not so much anymore. Smash could probably use a facelift, but that's a topic for another day. So guys, in conclusion, Nick Brawl 2 is a perfect game. But it's not perfect. Okay, so this game is kind of a shit show when it comes to bugs. What the fuck? Especially at launch, the whole thing was riddled with them. Many are still present.
What the fuck?
I think a lot of the more pressing issues have been sorted, but I swear, each patch seems to fix one issue while introducing others. I would argue that none of the issues ruin the game or anything, but, you know, I think it's still a lot to ask for people to drop $50 on this, plus an extra $25 for the season pass, plus an extra $20 for a costume pack. Now, those other things are optional, but, you know, $50, man. At launch, the online would softlock so often. Not even just the online. My first 5 minutes into the campaign, it soft-locked on me when I got to the hub area. Neat. Many of the characters just had completely busted, buggy moves, but, you know, again, I do think the more egregious issues have been patched up at this point, from what I can tell. I can't help but feel like this game was potentially a product of rushed development to hit that holiday time slot. I really thought it was weird when they announced that, hey, Nick Brawl 2 is getting delayed a few days so we can put the finishing touches on this sucker, but only the digital version is coming out. You have to wait an extra month for the retail version. Switch version didn't even come with a cartridge, just a code. From what I'm hearing though, the Switch version is just totally fucked anyway, don't even bother with it. So yeah, you know, the game was screwy at launch at best. Clearly they needed more than just a few extra days to put the finishing spit shine on it. I don't blame the developers though, this was obviously a result of corporate meddling, whether it was Nickelodeon or Game Mill. They wanted those holiday wacky bucks. I'm not so sure they got them. So I know that probably sounds bad. I mean, it certainly doesn't sound good. But look, the core of the game is still incredibly solid, and I think it's worth your time to play. Maybe at a discount if you're not sure. If you're one of those people who bought the first game and felt burned, I don't blame you. But, you know, consider your purchase to be an investment in the genre, because, you know, I have no idea how they possibly could have improved so much over the first one, but by supporting that game, it made this one possible. I know it sounds crazy to say it, but yeah, the silly SpongeBob fighting game is genuinely one of the best platform fighters ever made. It sounds like hyperbole, and maybe it is, but it's good. Smash has always been the uncontested champion, but I really do think that this game and this series are on the right track. Obviously, Smash will always be the big one in everyone's minds, but this game deserves to be recognized for the achievement of just being really damn good. Now, where do they go from here? Well, they have a round of DLC characters hitting the game at some point, but yeah, well, I'm excited for Mr. Krabs. But look, SpongeBob, Avatar, the Turtles are already the most well-represented shows in the game. These picks were 100% by Nick Corporate. All three franchises have projects in the works, so like, I get it. Promote the shows, still getting stuff. But like, Uncle Iroh? Rocksteady? Come on. At least go with Krang. I don't know. These picks just aren't as fun as bringing new shows into the mix like the first game's DLC did. I kind of suspect there won't be more DLC beyond this pack. Call it a hunch. And my guess is they'll take a stab at a third entry that takes an everyone is here approach, bringing back the cut characters from the first game with new movesets and a lineup of newcomers. My biggest hope is that they build upon and further refine the gameplay and dig a bit deeper for their newcomers next time. I think there were only like 2 more shows represented in this game, but they also cut 2. Cat Dog is still a crazy cut to me. What about Otis? Bessie Higginbottom? Tack! I know the show sucked, but, you know, the games it was based on were fire. And, dare I say it, cat scratch. I know Fairly Odd Parents is in Wright's Purgatory or some shit, but, you know, none of these Nickelodeon games will ever feel fully complete without Timmy Turner. Straight up. Well, regardless of what happens, I was very pleasantly surprised by this game. You know, I've noticed that my favorite games from any given year over this past decade, you know, tend to be the ones that I least expected, just totally not on my radar at all. But after Nick Brawl 2, I'll be keeping a close eye on what this team does next with the series, and I hope they have the opportunity to. You know, but with all that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you at least consider checking this game out. I've got a bunch of video ideas in mind that I think would be really fun, but, you know, I don't know if I can make them a reality yet. Still got bills to pay, and video editing eats up a lot of time. My main channel got totally shit-canned by YouTube. It's not monetized anymore, and, well, you know, this one doesn't really make a whole lot of anything. I'm considering starting up a Patreon. You know, let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in supporting to help me be a little more consistent on my uploads. But, you know, we'll see how this video does. Thank you for watching, and,